Western Quebec is a very special place for me. Every time I come back and I fly over the Arctic, everything below looks so barren and desolate. But actually, it is filled with life in this unspoiled Arctic marine environment. There's no other place like this. Here we can feel there is no human presence. As soon as I got my eyes on the Ungava Bay, which lies directly in front of the camps, I realized how vast this body of water is. It was not going to be an easy task to find the char here, but we were up to the task and motivated to explore this wild area. Located at Black Point on the east coast of the Ungava Bay, the camps are strategically located in an area where 4 rivers empty into the bay. Here we are in the wild tundra of Nunavik, which means polar bear territory. There have been several encounters this year, so we need to stay on our guards all week while we're fishing. Like any ocean destination, it's all about the tides. Here we have the biggest tides in the world, and the guides spend a lot of time studying the tide charts to find the ideal moment to leave the lodge. It happens when we arrived, it was a perfect tide, so we were glad to go out. We went out, we fished, and I had a chance to catch my first char. It was the best way for me to start this adventure. Here in the north, it's all about timing. Sometimes you can fish in the most perfect conditions with amazing sunsets, but at other times, we've been told it can get really harsh on the ocean. Char fishing is a hunt. You need to find the fish. The next day, the weather was perfect, and it was time for a big expedition to what they called Pigeon Island. We left the camp very early with the boats and headed out into the vast Ungava Bay. On the way, we spotted a group of seals and a variety of wild birds. This place is simply amazing. This vast ocean makes you feel like you're immersed in true wilderness. There's no words to explain how you feel when you are alone in this big body of water, searching for char. Sometimes you feel like you are looking for a needle in a haystack. When we got to Pigeon Island, Laurence was really excited. She hadn't caught a char yet, so she started to fish really hard. And it paid off. She caught her first char and she fought it in the boat, and I was beside her, and I look in her eyes and like, I think she's the happiest girl alive right now. I was really happy for Laurence. It was her first char and also her first experience in the north, and I think now she was getting the hang of it, and of course she was loving it. She was so motivated, she continued to fish and fish and fish. It wasn't an easy task casting those big sink lines with big flies out there, but it paid off. She got a really, really nice char. Continued to fish, but with the tides we need to move, and the guide said we need to move along. I think I have a good idea. We'll bring you to this island. Our guides couldn't come because of the big tides, so they left us on this remote island and left me with a gun to make sure we were protected if ever a polar bear was going to come too close. not a long time after, Alexei was hooked up. And out of nowhere, me and Laurence, at the same time, we hooked up. It was the most perfect way to end the day, and it was now time to head back to camp. We hadn't found the big 20-pounder char we were looking for, but we were really motivated for the next day. The last morning, we were really excited. We had good tips from the guides who had seen some big char. The only thing is that it was exactly where they had spotted big polar bears, so we needed to stay on our guards. It wasn't long before I got into a fish. It was our last day, and we were going to give it all we got to find that big char.
Ici, on est vraiment à la merci de l'environnement et de la nature sauvage. Il faut tout le temps garder un œil autour de ce qui nous entoure, que ce soit en bateau ou autour du camp. Avec les ours polaires dans la région, on ne peut pas prendre vraiment de chance.
Simon saw a big polar bear while we were fishing. He did a warning shot to try to get him away from us. He said he's on the shoreline over there, but we're gonna leave this place. A 2,000-pound bear is pretty dangerous, so it's more precautious to do. After the bear encounter, we left the shoreline to head to a new spot. We fished really hard. It was our last chance to get that big char, and Alexei hooked into a really nice fish. It wasn't the big char we were looking for, but it ended the trip in the most perfect way. We were the three of us together, and we looked at that fish go away, and we were just the happiest people in the world. When I look back on this trip, there's only one thing that comes to mind: true wilderness. It was a privilege for us to have the chance to immerse ourselves in such a beautiful territory as Nunavik. It was an amazing experience to share this with Alexei and also with Laurence. We go home now with great memories, but we also have in mind that big char we are still looking for.